Can you hear me now?
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so I would continue with your reply when everyone joins. So um you can also hear me.
Okay.
Um, I'm waiting for them to join in as well. So open to page 382 and
Page what?
page 382. Yes, Daniela, can you hear me? So open to page 382 and also open to page 387. 382 and 387. Daniela, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, open to page 382 and page 387. 382 and 387. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Is Roslyn on? Okay, yes. Roslyn,
Yes.
can
Yes.
you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, you can hear me, right?
Yes, I can
Yes.
hear.
Okay, so open to page 382 and 387 so that we can clarify. Everyone there now?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yes.
for page 382, you see the infection control and safety procedure for waxing. And in number 5, it says, never reuse wax or redip application spatula. Never reuse wax or redip application spatula. It means that when you take the first wax strip, the spatula, you scoop wax and apply it on a particular portion. You discard it immediately. You wax that particular place, you take a new spatula. For example, you're doing the whole hand. So it means that you might use almost 10 spatulas or 15 spatulas for the hand. Let's look at page, next on page 387. 387, that says basic waxing procedure. So you see the basic waxing procedure. You see apply wax, where you have apply wax. They say obtain wax, apply wax, discard the spatula. Now, the starting spatula doesn't mean you freeze. They said remove wax and hair, then repeat the procedure again, which means when you're repeating the procedure, you use a new spatula. Am I answering you now? Yeah. If you go to
Yes.
the next page where you have the procedure for eyebrow wax, you see where they are discarding the spatula in this number 7 session, where they're discussing the spatula, and they keep repeating the application. So when you're waxing, naturally you are not meant to be deep because of what we have learned. We know that when people have there's what we call cross contamination. You can contact infection from one client to another, from one client to yourself. So you shouldn't reuse spatulas because for example, the person has herpes in her private part, or she has one contagious disease in her private part, and or in any part of her body, and you use this spatula and you dip it back into the wax pot. You're practicing cross contamination. So you're meant to discard the spatula at every application. But this is Nigeria. They will use spatula. Even
And
though
me, I like real life examples. Are we practicing all the, like, if we go out there, are we going
told you the
to
last time, I can't
request
tell
for?
you yes or no because I'm not the owner of the spa. It's something you should sell to them. And that's one of the reasons why Spectrum Beauty Academy Nigeria was created. The owner of the school already knows, she has a spa, and she realized that most of the services they do are wrong. because she went to school, she went to different schools, and she knows that what they do out there is really wrong. Even her therapists don't do the right thing sometimes. So I decided, you know what, I need to educate people. I need to let people know the right thing to do. And I like the fact that you remember when you came to Spectrum, where like you came to Spectrum because you heard that we use pivot points, right? That's
Yeah.
I remember vividly when you said that one of the reasons I picked this is because we use pivot points. And this pivot point standard. The pivot point gives you the highest standard of of anything that has to do that is related to beauty industry. So, but in this country where we are, I can't vouch for it, another spa owner. It's you people, the students that were teaching, that can go out there and make a difference. When you go out there, you let them know. And I gave you an example of one of our friends that is in the field and corrected one or two people. They do it a lot. So it's you that will go out there and sensitize other people out there. So I can't guarantee you. If it's my own spa, my own personal spa, you're coming to work, I can guarantee you. Like if it's your own spa, you can guarantee, but you can't really guarantee for something you don't have control over. You get, but that's the right procedure. The major thing is that you know what is right, so that people like you and those that want to travel out. So when you get out of when you get to travel out, you won't go and do what is wrong. You'll be able to blend in, because that's what they do over there. They don't take all of these things for granted. You get. So yes, the major thing is that you have a full knowledge. It don't look strange to you. Because, for example, a practicing therapist comes to my spa and sees me discarding my spatula after each application. It will look strange to her, no matter how years of experience. Like, what's wrong with this one? Why for me? Why are you feeling? But if you see me doing that, it won't be strange to you. You'll even be proud. You give me thumbs up that yes, that's the right thing to do. So that's what you should go and do out there. Sensitize the environment. All right. So moving forward. So any other question?
Okay.
When we're doing the practical, are we going to have so many spatulas?
Yeah, buy your spatulas. It's left to you to have so many spatulas. Spatulas are things you will buy by yourself because they are disposable.
Okay.
And they are very affordable. I don't know who has bought spatula before. It comes in pack of 100. They're very, very affordable. Do you understand? So it's left to you to, yeah. So that's why we advise I use the stick spatulas, because I don't know if you've seen the plastic spatulas. I even have some in the house, or the metal spatulas. We don't advise you use them because those ones they are expensive. And you can't be discarding them after each use. So it's better to use a wooden spatula that is very affordable. Okay. So yes, so let's quickly move forward. We talked about autoclave. So yes, moving back to equipment for sterilization. So we have autoclave here. So we have here the autoclave. So we have I think I'm echoing. Can you hear me now? Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'll yes, okay. So to truly sterilize equipment, an autoclave is being used. If you really want to sterilize your equipment, an autoclave has to be used. We said that autoclaves are very, they produce high heat, high temperature, so they're very good in sterilizing equipment, and you're sure that they will eliminate bacteria, spore bacteria. So an autoclave is a pressurized, steam-heated vessel that sterilizes objects with high pressure and heat, or pressurized steam, preventing microorganisms from surviving. Autoclave is taken literally from the Greek word auto, meaning self, and Latin clavis, meaning key. This is because the vessel can be self-locking due to pressurization. However, they are more commonly used in medical or dental offices, where critical instruments such as surgical tools that are designed to puncture body tissues are used. And I said that's why if you have a medical spa, you're meant to have an autoclave, because you'll be using lancets, you'll be using needles, you'll be using equipment, implements that will penetrate into the skin, that'll pass through your tissues. Do you understand? So you need to have an autoclave in order for you to be able to sterilize your implements properly. So autoclaves can be found in some skincare centers or salons. High frequency or galvanic glass electrodes should not be put in autoclaves, since the pressure can hit and break them. When you say high frequency and galvanic, for high frequency and galvanic, or some galvanic, we use their electrodes are glass. They are glass electrodes. So you can imagine putting a glass electrode into a very hot equipment. What will happen? It will burst. It will break. Do you understand? It will get shattered. So you are not advised to put your glass electrodes into an autoclave. Don't sterilize them. Just disinfect them, sanitize them and disinfect them, dry them, then put them in your, that's a small UV sterilizing unit, okay? So do not put them in your autoclave. So moving forward, instruments that penetrate the skin, such as lancets. You know what lancets are, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they use
don't
them
know.
in the skincare, yeah, we use in skincare centers as well. They use them in hospitals to puncture the skin. So lancets must be disposed of or sterilized. These are categorized as critical. Sterilization by a steam autoclave moist heat under pressure is very reliable, but must be monitored for effectiveness. Regular monitoring of sterilization cycle is important to ensure proper operation. Biological monitoring systems such as spot test strips are easy to use and are designed for use with the type of sterilizer being used, such as autoclave. Follow manufacturers' recommendations for placement, since proper placement of test strip is essential. In most healthcare environments, weekly use of biological monitoring to verify that the autoclave unit is functioning properly is adequate. So in a nutshell, they mean that consistently check if your autoclave is active, if it's functional, if it's still, if the heat, the amount of heat that is meant to come out is still generating, if it's still able to kill spore bacteria. Don't just leave it and say, okay, yeah, it works today. Because how will you know if there's no spore bacteria on that equipment? You need to test it. And that's where your test strip comes in. So use your test strip and follow manufacturer's instruction to test if it's still able to kill spore bacteria. So on a daily basis, the statistician may have the responsibility of making certain that the unit is sterilizing by checking readouts as the cycle progress. So you know that we said in autoclaves, they have a calibration, a calibrator that's, a meter. So when the heat is increasing, just like for your, what's it called? Your microwave, microwave have calibrators. It will show you if you want to 320 degrees, this thing will show you. If you understand. So when the heat starts, it will start from lowest level. As it's becoming hot, it begins to progress. So you'll be able to read from your calibrator if it's actually hot. Do you understand? So you just don't on it and leave it. You know how machines work. You might on it and leave it and find out at the end of the day, come back and find out that it wasn't actually getting hot. So you need to check on it from time to time. As with any type of equipment or sterilization process, it is important to follow manufacturer's instructions to ensure proper sterilization. This applies to instructions for use, proper maintenance, and monitoring. As noted previously, if your state allows the use of metal lancets designed to puncture the skin, which is not common in the US, you need to sterilize the lancets. Skincare centers in some regions may also use disposable lancets, which must be disposed of in a proper sharp container. And yesterday we talked about double bagging, how to double bag. So yes, Roslyn, tell us, how do you double bag?
You wrap the thing you want to dispose in a
Example of the things that
bag
work.
that has. You wrap the something like let's say you want to dispose a lancet.
Okay.
You wrap it in a bag that can be tightly sealed,
Okay.
like a zip. Then
Okay.
you put it before you put it in the main disposable bag.
Okay. Well, so how does disposable bag have to look like?
The disposable bag also has to be tightly sealed.
Yes, it has to have a cover, like that's your waste bin. They have to have cover and they have to be tightly sealed. Yes. So yes. So otherwise, yes. So continue. Skincare center in some regions may also use disposable lancets, which must be disposed of in a proper sharp container. Otherwise, your disinfection method for small aesthetic implements such as tweezers are adequate. Sufficient proper disinfection means that you pre-clean implements, wash with antibacterial soap and water, disinfect with a broad spectrum disinfectant, and ensure proper storage of instruments. Check with your area's regulatory agency to ensure that you are in compliance. I said that in more civilized countries, they follow all these procedures. If you're not, there are some regions in the US that you can't make use of lancets, you can't puncture people's skin. And if you're caught doing that, they will fine you, they can even jail you. Do you understand? So you need to check with your area's regulatory agency if it's allowed for you to make use of such implements and such equipment. So next one is chemical clave, which is another means of sterilization. It's another implement we use for sterilization. So a chemical clave is a machine that sterilizes surgical instruments with high pressure, high temperature water, alcohol, and formaldehyde vapor, just like I said. So understanding the level of infection control and using the proper procedures and equipment will help protect you, your clients, and your co-workers from infection. On the next page is a review of the type of items that require sterilization, disinfection, and or sanitization. So yes, here we have infection control guidelines. We have level of infection control, the items and the procedures. So for sanitization, sanitization are items categorized as non-critical, meaning they make contact with intact skin, need to be sanitized. Like the ones that make contact with just our major intact, epidermal layer of our skin, they need to be sanitized. Items that will sanitize are your countertops, your sinks, your floors, your toilets, your towels, your linen, your equipment like your sterilizing unit, your steamers, your magnifying unit, you sterilize them. So you sanitize them. So procedure is use appropriate cleaning products. Efficacy label will state appropriate for floors, countertops, sinks, towels, toilets, and or linens. Then we have that your hands, wash your hands before each service and use antibacterial, antimicrobial liquid soap, avoid bath soaps. Also use a soap that has a dispensary, like you can, it has a pump. You don't have to use a bath soap, yes, to wash your hands. So your hands and client hands feet. Wash your hands and client hands feet prior to hands or food service. Apply antiseptic designs for hands and feet or use an antibacterial soap. That's use hand sanitizers when you're practicing a service, performing a service. So next one is disinfection. Disinfection is categorized as semi-critical, meaning they may make contact with mucous membrane or skin that is not intact, that's broken and needs to be disinfected. So when you say they come in contact with mucous membrane, that they can come in contact with your eyes, your nose, your mouth, they can come in contact with your blood fluid. So tools and implements that have not come in contact with blood or body fluids have to be disinfected. Tools and implements that have come in contact with blood and body fluids has to be disinfected as well. I told you that in some areas they will say only disinfect products that has implement that has come in contact with blood and body fluid. But as a esthetician, we practice both. Before the service and after the service, we disinfect our implements. So in procedure is that you use broad spectrum, EPA registered bacterial, bactericidal, antiviral, fungicidal, pseudomonocidal, disinfectant mix according to the manufacturer's directions as required by your area's regulatory agency. Use broad spectrum EPA registered disinfectant effective against HIV and HPV or tuberculosidal. Mix and immerse according to manufacturer's direction or as required by your area's regulating agency. So the last one, which is the highest level of infection control practice, is sterilization. It's categorized as critical, meaning that they are intended to enter tissue or come in contact with vascular system and they need to be sterilized. Tools and implements used to puncture or invade the skin are meant to be sterilized. And the procedure is that you use a liquid sterilant or moist or dry heat sterilizer calibrated to the specified temperatures to kill all living organisms and bacteria spores. So we have come to the end of this particular chapter, infection control. And we have a quick recap. Yeah, so let's do a quick recap. So what is infection control? Daniela. So we'll follow Daniela Franca Roslin. Daniela Franca Roslin. So that's how you answer the question. You can see my slide, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what's infection control, Daniela? Don't see you people. See, shame on you people. Shame on you. What is infection control? Just explain what you know. It's not compulsory you have to follow the textbook word for word. I just want to tell me what you know about infection control. Don't follow the textbook word for word. I just want to know.
Okay.
It's a recap. So we just be sure that you assimilated everything I was saying and you understood everything I was saying.
Okay. Infection control can be
said as the ability
Yeah.
to kill or like prevent infections from coming in contact with your clients
Yeah.
or with your skincare center, in
Yeah.
the sense that you use things or you have to be careful with the things you use, varying from the level of, like we've just studied, sanitization,
Yeah.
disinfection, and sterilization, just to avoid bacteria from coming in contact with the clients we work on.
Okay, and even ourselves, protecting ourselves as well. We're
And
humans.
ourselves, yeah.
Yes.
And
Yes.
ourselves, yeah.
Yeah. So the next person, why do we carry out infection control procedure practice? Why do we practice infection control?
I think we practice infection control to prevent germs and diseases from ourselves and our clients,
Mm-hmm.
and we also practice infection control in order not to transmit diseases
Yeah.
from one another.
Yes. Yes. So types and level of infection control, we already know that. I won't ask you that. Um, so we have different types. Okay, just answer so that it can be complete. Yes, where is she?
We have sanitation,
Yeah,
disinfection, and we have sterilization.
so explain them.
Okay, sanitation is the lowest level
Okay,
of infection control. It has to do with practices that the esthetician takes into consideration during working,
okay,
like making sure that maintaining cleanliness in the spa,
okay,
making sure that things are properly disposed after being used,
okay.
that you don't repeat usage of the same um, materials or
Okay,
equipment with
implement.
one
Yeah,
another,
yeah,
another thing. And disinfection has to do with using certain chemicals
mm-hmm.
to get rid of microorganisms like bacteria or
Yeah,
viruses that
yeah,
may be deposited on those surfaces. While sterilization, being the highest form of infection control, has to do with using more stronger chemicals or stronger equipment to get rid of spore-forming organisms.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yes. So, Daniela, where do we use these types of infection control? Where do we practice these three types of infection control?
And we can practice them at schools, hospitals, in the houses, and
Yeah.
spas and skincare centers
Yes.
too.
Okay. So, mention a few guidelines for infection control.
My turn, huh?
Yeah, obviously. Guidelines for infection.
What? Which of the infection control? Which of
Just
them?
general guidelines of infection
Okay,
control. Just
general. Okay. Wash your hand with antibacterial soap and
yeah.
water before and after.
Antiseptic
Um,
soap.
Antiseptic soap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Trash out your dirt daily.
Okay.
Use new wrap. What do you call it? Paper towels
Okay,
on
towels.
your
Okay, yeah.
client.
Mm-hmm.
Um. Uh. Um. Follow manufacturers
Instruction.
directions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um. Uh.
Think. Braca, think.
I'm thinking. Keep first aid. Keep first aid first hand
Yeah.
at cycle.
All right.
I'm
All
tired. I'm fried.
right. So yeah, seriously, types of equipment. So just this is what we just talked about now. The major types of equipment to use for sterilization.
We have autoclave,
Okay.
chemical,
Yes.
we have the sterilizer.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, I was about to ask you to explain, but I know you can explain it. Don't waste it. So let's don't waste our time. Yeah. So any question?
No.
Any question?
Since the UV claims is not so it's not so awesome when it
Yeah.
comes to why then is it used? Because it's not doesn't do much. So
Yeah. So
why
that's
is
why
it
they said
being
that you can use it as a storage.
okay?
Do you understand? They say you can use it as a storage. That they will write UV sterilizer, but they're not sterilizers. They are sanitizers. So basically, they have this little heat, yes, just to keep them dry, so that those implements don't get wet, they don't get after disinfected them. So basically, just use them as storage. You understand? Yeah. So we'll move to first aid, but I would before we go to first aid, I will stop this recording now. I gave you people an assignment, a classwork right now to do for me. So send it to my email, send it to the group chat. As soon as you send it, that will determine when I will start the new class for first aid. All right? Did you get it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so send it to me now. So I'll end this because this is almost rounding up. So we'll start first aid immediately. All right.
Okay.